What's up everybody, I'm back. Welcome to a brand new video, and today I'm going to be doing my response to Monstrosity's recent Tag Youre It video. So if you don't know what this is, this was an experiment that he started by tagging 4 Kaiju and Tokusatsu YouTubers and posing them with 5 questions. Those 5 questions I will then be going over in my video and answering. Then I will be following up with tagging 4 other Kaiju YouTubers who are going to answer 5 new questions that I come up with. So, to answer the questions that I was asked in the original video, so the first question is, worst best kaiju? Worst best kaiju is a little bit of a hard question for me because there's a lot of kaiju that I think are very dumb that I really like. I think Showa Gaigan is campy and he's also great at the same time. I definitely think King Caesar is awesome, but I don't really know if those guys are considered some of the dumb kaiju or the worst kaiju, so I'm gonna go with something more along the lines of Gabra. I thought Gabra from Godzilla's Revenge, as silly and stupid as he was a really fun monster for the movie, and I love the way he torments Minya. But if I'm gonna have to nail it down on just one, it's probably gonna be Zetus from Gamera the Brave. I mean, yeah, he is a super generic monster. He's basically just a large lizard dinosaur that jumps around and shoots things with his tongue, but I thought it made for a very good fight in the movie, especially when Todo was learning how to use his powers. I thought there were actually quite a bit of stakes involved with the fight, and I never really feel that with the Gamera movie, so I thought that Kaiju, as lame and generic as he is, amplified the movie quite a bit. Second question was, do you watch Tokusatsu beyond Godzilla? This is kind of a tricky answer because not much anymore, but I used to. Back in about 2014 when Godzilla 2014 came out, I got really into Kaiju and Tokusatsu, and I started to watch a variety of different monster movies. The X from Outer Space, Monster from a Prehistoric Planet, Youre It. I tried to dive into as much as I could. I went through as many of the Gamera movies as I could get my hands on, and I tried to expand my horizons to Ultraman and Zone Fighter, but I really never got into those shows. But now when you look at nowadays, I don't really do much outside of Toho movies. Recently I've checked out the H-Man, which I thought was a very good movie, and I love Frankenstein vs. Baragon as well as War of the Gargantuas. Those are some of my favorite movies of all times, especially War of the Gargantuas. That's one of my top favorite movies of all times. But I don't really watch much outside of Toho anymore. I do still watch the Gamera films, and I'm not against watching Youre It or anything of the sort, but I don't really watch Ultraman or any of that stuff anymore. Worst best kaiju movie ever. So, the worst best kaiju movie ever, in my opinion, is King Kong vs. Godzilla from 1962. I absolutely adore this movie. It's my favorite movie of all times. I think it is just so fantastic. It's fun, and it's campy, and it's awesome. It's classic Godzilla. The music's fantastic. I love this movie so much. I have so much nostalgia for it. It was my introduction to Godzilla, and so it will just always be a very special movie to me. And I understand that a lot of people really dislike this movie. It doesn't really jive with the early Showa movies very well. It's kind of a very odd shift in tone out of nowhere. The comedy, a lot of people don't like. They want it to be a more serious movie. They think the fight wasn't well handled. Kong looks weird. I understand all the complaints about it. I absolutely love this movie. So the fourth question now is Godzilla Monster Planet. Are you of the excite? Definitely. I am so excited for the very first real Godzilla anime. I loved the Godzilla cartoon from the 90s and 2000s. I thought the animated series was very good and very well done. I thought it did a lot for the character of Godzilla from the 98 movie, but I really am interested to see a Japanese anime of Godzilla. Now I do have to say though, I'm not familiar with anime. I don't watch anime. I've never really seen any actual Japanese anime, just a couple episodes of Dragon Ball here and there, but I don't really care about it. I want to get into Evangelion, but I haven't gotten my start yet, and I've heard some other shows are really good. So this will be my first real exposure to anime, and I'm very excited for that reason as well. And also, this movie has a great roster for monsters appearing in it. It sounds like it has a very interesting timeline, and it's going to do something really new with the Godzilla character. So the answer shortly is yes, I am excited. Godzilla, King of the Monsters, how much are you looking forward to it? I am so excited for this movie, like beyond what I am for Monster Planet. I cannot wait for this one to come out in 2019. It should just be absolutely amazing. It sounds like it's going to be something of a soft remake of one of my favorite Godzilla movies of all times, that being Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster. I cannot wait to see what they do with these characters. I'm really excited to see the way Legendary handles Ghidorah, especially. I think it would be really cool just to see how menacing he's going to be in this movie. I was a fan of Godzilla 2014 and I loved Kong Skull Island, so I think the MonsterVerse is off to a good start, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it continue with Godzilla King of the Monsters, and I cannot wait for it to come out in 2019. So the YouTubers I'm going to be tagging this episode are Kaiju Noir, Kaiju Crazy, ETN, and Kuro Kakik. I'm not sure how many of them will respond, if any of them, but I didn't really know who else to tag, so I'm just gonna go with those guys. So I'm gonna pose the questions that I'm gonna be asking these guys, and then I'll quickly answer them. So my first question is, what is your most underrated Godzilla movie? My second question is, what is the worst kaiju movie you have ever seen? My third question is, favorite kaiju movie from the decade? Fourth, thoughts on Pacific Rim Uprising, and fifth, why did you become a YouTuber? So, to answer my questions, what is your most underrated Godzilla movie? I personally believe All Monsters Attack is fairly underrated. I do really think that movie's very campy and very fun. I think it's got a lot going for it. It's great for kids. I have such a blast with that movie. But I'm gonna go again with my favorite movie being King Kong vs. Godzilla. It's kind of an underrated Godzilla movie. I think a lot of people look past it because it's silly, but if you look at it as a silly movie, I think you really can enjoy it a lot more than you thought. What is the worst kaiju movie I've ever seen? The worst kaiju movie I've ever seen is Young Gary from 1999. I thought the original was a great Godzilla knockoff. It was super cheesy and super corny, and it's a very funny movie to watch and poke some fun out with some friends. But Young Gary from 1999 is just super dull. It's got some of the worst special effects I've ever seen. Very cheesy, way over the top. I find nothing to be enjoyable about this movie. My favorite kaiju movie of the decade is a toss-up. I absolutely loved Shin Godzilla from 2016, aka Shin Godzilla. I thought it was a great movie, very deep and political, and I thought it was just absolutely fantastic. It nailed everything it was going for. The music is incredible, but I do think Kong Skull Island succeeds in being a more entertaining movie. I can watch Kong Skull Island a lot more than I can watch Shin Godzilla, and for that reason, I think Kong Skull Island will have to be my favorite kaiju movie from the decade. Thoughts on Pacific Rim Uprising? I'm very excited, but at the same time a little nervous for it. I don't know what I'll think of a movie taking place in this universe that Guillermo del Toro set up so well now that a new director's under the helm, so I don't know if he'll be able to kind of carry over the same aspects that made the original so great, but I do have faith that he'll do a great job, seeing as though the teaser was very action-packed and exciting. Why did I become a YouTuber? Well, the reason I became a YouTuber was because I was really inspired by someone called the Syndicate Project to do gaming videos, and I did them for a couple years, and then when I was still doing them, I decided I wanted to start doing kaiju discussion videos, or at the very least start making stop motion videos. But I didn't want to crowd my gaming channel with other stuff other than gaming, so I made a secondary account, which is this account, so I could have a full kaiju-based channel. And then after a while I expanded to Walking Dead, and ever since then my channel's really grown to where I am here, and I have you guys to thank for it. So the reason I became a YouTuber, or at the very least the reason I became a kaiju YouTuber, is because of you guys. If it wasn't for you guys, I would have stuck with Walking Dead, because you guys were the ones who told me I need to make more Godzilla videos and more Kong videos and everything like that, and you guys are the ones who made my channel what it is today, so thank you. Thank you guys all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope at least one of those guys I tagged, because I know some of them don't really do videos like this, respond to this. And again, big shout out to MONSTROSITIES for tagging me in the original video. Links to everybody down below. Go check them out and show them some support. Thank you guys all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. D-Man.